Whenever we feel at awe or amazed, for sure there is something extraordinary that we have seen. We are amazed at something that we rarely see. We are amazed at something that we consider as extraordinary. Kapag kabigha-bighani yung nakita natin, para bang first time nating nakita iyon. That's why whenever there are news about extraordinary phenomena, for sure we can already see a lot of people flocking to these places, trying to see for themselves these extraordinary occurrences. In our readings, we hear two groups of people witnessing an extraordinary event. In our first reading, we hear the Jews in utter amazement as they witness the healing of the crippled man. In our gospel, we hear Jesus' disciples still in disbelief with what they are seeing. Two groups of people with different reactions. The first one is that they are amazed with what they see, while the other is still incredulous with what they are witnessing. But one thing is common between these two groups of people is that they fail to look beyond with what they are seeing. Nakontento lang sila dun sa nakikita nila. The Jews were just contented with the miracle that they have witnessed, while Jesus' disciples were still holding on to their reasonable minds. How could Jesus resurrect from the dead? Nagtataka pa rin sila, para bang may mga pagdududa, may mga pag-aagam-agam. And our readings would remind us to go back to the basics. Sometimes we can get caught up with overwhelming experiences in our life that we forget to see that our Christian life is patterned in the Paschal mystery. Sometimes we focus only on our reasonable minds, and we fail to see the signs that God is already pointing out to us. The Jews in our first reading failed to see the true reason for the healing of the crippled man because they lacked the faith in Jesus. The disciples were dumbfounded because they held on to the dictates of their reason. But let us not forget that after all the amazement, after all the disbelief, we are still called to follow Jesus. And we can always follow Jesus not through any extraordinary phenomena, but through the simple acts of faith, simple acts of charity that we can easily extend. Minsan kapag may magandang pangyayari sa ating buhay, para bang yun ang nagiging pasimula na meron tayong dapat gawin. Kapag may malaking milagro na dumating sa buhay natin, parang yun ang magtutulak pa lang sa atin para gawin kung anong hinihiling ng ating pananampalataya. Pero wag sanang umabot pa sa ganong mga pagkakataon. Dahil kahit walang mga kabigha-bigha ng pangyayari, kahit walang malaking milagro na dumating sa ating buhay, hinihiling pa rin sa atin na sumunod kay Jesus kahit sa mga simpleng paraan, kahit sa mga simpleng pagpapahayag ng ating pananampalataya. And this is what Easter would remind us. We are challenged not to be strangled with disbelief. Rather, we are invited to live out the new life that we have received. Sin can overwhelm us. Our mistakes can haunt us. But those things do not define us. It can leave a mark, but it is up to us if we will live according to that mark. It can leave a scar, but our choices can show that those scars are lessons that we have learned. lessons that are valuable, lessons that will guide us, lessons that will remind us not to be haunted by our mistakes, not to be haunted by our sins, but they are there to remind us that God is greater than all of these. If sin can overwhelm us, if mistakes can haunt us, let us also remember that the love of God is the most overwhelming power that can wrap us.